Everyone, welcome to my fantasy football game week 1 video, and here I'm going to describe all of the players that I've picked for game week 1. First up, Ramsdale, 5 million, 3 good fixtures, some home fixtures as well, and guaranteed to keep a clean sheet. And for 5 million, I think he's certain to get some points there, so he is my chosen keeper. Backup keeper, I'm in an iron about this one, but as Forest have just signed Matt Turner, I believe he will start because Hennessy is injured. Despite their difficult sort of start to the season, he's a good backup keeper just in case anything happens to Ramsdale. For 4 million. It's a bargain. Moving on to defenders, Estupiñán from Brighton. 3 very good fixtures to start off with. As you can see, there's got to be a clean sheet and an assist in there. As proven last year, he does often get an assist and a couple of goals here and there. So for 5 million, I think that is a certain, and that is a very, very good buy. Kieran Trippier, obviously last season he was immense, constantly getting assists, some odd goals and clean sheets. Difficult start, but I think you've got to really have this guy in because he's just constantly getting you points every week. So he's a chosen for me. Saliba, 3 very, very good games and guaranteed to start. For 5 million, it is again a very, very good price. I can sense some clean sheets there, so he has to go in, he has to be there. Alternatives are Gabriel, Baldock, Sheffield United. This was basically thrown in because I think he's going to start. 2 good starting fixtures, and for 4 million, I think you've got to have one of these 4 million defenders in there, 1 or 2 in there, just to try and balance things out a little bit so you can get them better players in. So I believe that he is a decent choice. The same with Bell. Bell is another one, 4 million, Luton. Just a note with Luton, game week 2, there is no game. So bear that in mind when you're picking any Luton players, and also applies to Burnley because they're due to play Burnley. So just bear that in mind with Luton and Burnley players if you're picking any. But for 4 million again, and I think he's going to start as well, you got to have one of them cheap defenders in. Saka, 8.5 million. Obviously last season, fantastic assists, goals in him, and again 3 decent games to start off with. And I believe as well that there is plenty more to come from him, especially now he's got Rice in the team. It should help him get even more points, so I think he's a must-have. Rashford, 9 million. Again, I believe there's a lot of goals in him as well, and assists, and looking at the 3 fixtures that they have, he's most certainly going to get some sort of points in there. So again, he's got to be one to have in there, guaranteed to start too. Mitoma, 6.5 million. Again, last season really, really good. Goals and assists. And looking at the fixtures, first 3, you got to think there's some points in there for him. I think for 6.5 million, it's a bargain. Bruno Fernandes, new captain for Man United. Guaranteed, obviously, now to start. But now he's captain. Lots of points in him as well, assists and goals, and he'll be another one that'll start alongside Rashford. And I believe with Wolves of the first game of the season, there's some points in there for him. Mbeumo, which is a decent shout for Brentford, I think. 6.5 million, I think he's very good for 6.5 million. Brentford, for Brentford, for him last season, he was very, very good. Lots of points. And the first 3 fixtures, I think there's a lot of points in there for him. And also to note, they've got a lot of home fixtures as well. And obviously last season, they were very, very good, Brentford, at home. So I think he has to go in. Moving on to strikers, we've got Harry Watkins. He was towards the end of the season, end of last season, he was very, very good. Picked up lots of points. 8 million, I think that's very good. The first fixture, yes, Newcastle away is very difficult, but they do have some good fixtures coming up. I think for 8 million, I think it's very good. There's not a lot really to pick from, I don't think. in terms of strikers this season with Kane leaving. He would obviously been the other one to try and get in, but with him leaving, I think this guy is probably the next best bet. And what can you say about this guy, Erling Haaland? Last season, absolutely ridiculous. You definitely just have to have him in there. He's got everything, hasn't he? And 14 million, I still think you just have to have him in, despite him being very, very pricey. He's just a must-have, no matter who he's playing against. No more to say on him. And to finish off the team, João Pedro, which I believe is going to start. He's very, very up and coming for 5.5 million. He's got a few goals in him as well. I think he's a good backup forward to have as well. So if I look at the team that I've picked, this is the current team that I've picked for game week 1. And there's the bench. We hope that you've all enjoyed this and this is helpful for your teams, and good luck for game week 1.